Belief and choice, a reinforcing loop systems archetype, which might also be referred to as our amazing capacity to limit our own growth and development. As a simple view of the structure, you can think of it as what we believe in fact limits the choices that we're willing to make and consider, and as we select that set of choices, it in fact limits what we are in a position to be able to evaluate and believe, so that this is a reinforcing structure, though it's a reinforcing structure on its way to nowhere. So that you might think of it as simply traveling down through the funnel and getting narrower and narrower and narrower, and if you live long enough you probably won't believe anything. David Allman posted a graphic the other day that seemed to be quite connected with this, in that we live in an environment of our beliefs and our relations and our actions, and they are in fact all interrelated, and they're interrelated in this perspective, while this is in fact a reinforcing loop systems archetype, it is in fact an abstraction or a simplification of a broader concept called a ladder of inference, which was, I think, initially developed by Chris Argyris at Harvard and presented by Peter Senge in the Fifth Discipline Fieldbook. And the thought is that out of a set of observable data and experience in the world around us, we select from that what we choose to pay attention to. We observe only part of it, and from what we observe, we add meaning based upon our own cultural awareness and understanding and our existing beliefs, and we create assumptions based upon that meaning, and we draw conclusions. It's our relentless pursuit of understanding the rationality of the world around us, and based upon those conclusions we adopt a set of beliefs about that world, and it's those beliefs that in fact are the basis for the actions that we take in the future. But what was realized is that set of beliefs that we establish in fact actually limit the set of data that we select and pay attention to, so that it's a ladder of influence or a ladder of inference with a feedback loop in it that limits what we pay attention to, and therefore what we end up believing, which ties it right back to the belief and choice archetype. Though this ladder of inference is actually not a ladder at all. It's really a reinforcing loop. Oh, I have to turn this off. It's really a reinforcing loop, so that where this was presented as a ladder, it's actually a reinforcing loop, so that the beliefs are the foundations for our action, which produce real data and experience. And from that selected data, from that data and experience, we should affix meaning, assumptions, connections, and create beliefs. And this loop should, in fact, we should look upon the real data and experience produced by our actions as a basis for expanding our understanding. The difficulty that arises is that our existing beliefs cause us to, in fact, select some subset of that real data and experience, so we don't pay attention to all of it. We pass what we pay attention to through our own filters, and that ends up being a belief protection. We have a preference for that experience which is consistent with what we believe, which takes us right back to this cycle that I pointed out initially, and it simply limits our own growth and development. So this is a reinforcing structure, and this is a limits to growth structure, which is a typical evolution of a reinforcing structure, because nothing grows forever. Any situation that appears initially as just a reinforcing structure, the the first thing that you should do if everything is going just the way that you want it to is to begin to look for what's going to turn up to cause it to not continue to operate that way. And in this case, it is in fact the way that our beliefs limit what we pay attention to. So this is an example of actually two systems archetypes, one a balancing loop and its evolution into a limits to growth archetype. So and it is in fact being able to ferret out and understand the implications of this set of interactions that is beneficial in continuing to develop our own understanding. So hope you found this interesting. See you in the next video.